Hello from Bishop Stang High School, located in beautiful Dartmouth, Massachusetts. My name is Kalen, and I will be reading today's Dartmouth Week as part of the Audible Local Ledger's High School Student Community Service Program. The Ledger continues to deliver information and entertainment to the print impaired who live on the Cape, the islands, and the South Coast. Many confronting disabilities such as low vision, blindness, or neurological disorders, as we have for over 25 years. Bishop Stang High School is proud to assist in connecting these listeners with the outside world. Now, on with today's reading of Dartmouth Week, dated November 28th, 2024. Our first headline reads, Kiln It, Building Community and Making Rare Art in Town. Written by Leela Basatlil. Almost like Thanksgiving, on Saturday, November 17th, a community gathered around what could be considered a rather large oven, but instead of pulling out stuffed turkeys and casserole, artists were picking up their latest projects. What once started as an academic exercise has grown and flourished into a community of artists from across the country, all coming together with the common goal of firing the wood kiln in Dartmouth for the last 30 years. Gathering once again that Saturday to unload their latest approximately 2,000 ceramic pieces, members of the group shared how the kiln came to be. Back in the 90s, Chris Gustin led a group of students at UMass Dartmouth, which was at the time Southeastern Massachusetts University, through a course in building a wood kiln. He built it with the idea that you have to develop a community to build a kiln and fire it, said Seth Rainville, who was an original member of the class. Rainville recalled the class prior to the build. Our studio was in an old gymnasium in New Bedford, with doors that didn't lock, heat that barely... Beginning, in New Bedford, with doors that didn't lock, heat that barely worked, and a bunch of ragtag people kind of just making pots in there. But a year after those shovels hit the frozen ground, they found themselves with a finished wood kiln. Gustin's kiln has 3 chambers, the first of which is designed after a Japanese-style kiln, known as an anagama, meaning hill climbing, Rainville said. Each chamber is built on an incline to achieve the hill climbing effect. The wood is fed into the first chamber, and as the heat rises, it flows through the remaining chambers, which are later also fueled with wood. According to Gordon Glason, Gustin's solo studio assistant, the main difference between wood-fired ceramics, gas fire, and electric is that for a wood kiln, it is hot enough that all the wood ash melts and turns into a glaze flying through the kiln. So the pieces are not just the results of the clay body and the glaze they were using, but the atmosphere in the kiln, Glason said. Additionally, in the second chamber, the kiln, the group adds sodium carbonate, spraying it when at peak temperatures, which changes the atmosphere. Leaving the pieces glossier and warmer, the final chamber receives all the residual soda and wood ash. So a lot of really cool results, but the whole process is very much so. Redoing that paragraph. So, a lot of really cool results, but the whole process is very much so a process, and it takes a community to fire it, he said. It takes a week to load the kiln, filling all three chambers at once. Apologies for doing that. Filling all three chambers at once, then 6 days to fire it. Temperatures inside the kiln exceed 2,300 degrees, and though it may not get as hot as other kilns, it holds the heat for longer periods of time. Stoking the fire is no easy feat either. Steve Murphy, who joined the group about 20 years ago, said the 6 days of feeding the fire are broken down by chamber, and it must be stoked every 8 to 12 minutes. Glason said at the peak of the fire, when stuff is roaring, the air moving through the front chamber is moving over 20 miles an hour. This, in addition to the sticky wood ash glaze, means the ceramic pieces are vulnerable to damage. The group has a few methods to combat this, such as using wads on the bottom of their pieces, which are like clay stilts so the items are not sitting directly on the shelves. There is loss in a wood firing, but the results are so magical that you can't stop doing it, Glason said. The wood kiln takes 3 weeks to cool off once it is done firing, and even then, when the team opened it up on Saturday, the temperature inside was still 70 degrees. Despite temps outside reaching the 30s, given the amount of work that goes into it, Glason said, we only fire this kiln twice a year, so these unloads are like Christmas. Slowly and carefully, the artists unloaded each of the kiln's chambers, placing the approximately 20,000 pieces on a field of pallets labeled by artists. The work and community required to operate the kiln also make it a rare experience. Rainville said these are largely operated by universities for that reason, but that means the community changes every 4 years. Though the Dartmouth wood kiln is no longer associated with the institution, it still has a number of educators involved, who, along with others, have made up the core of the group and are always welcoming others to learn about and participate in the community, Rainville said. He highlighted his favorite memory being when he and Gustin worked to bring 11 artists from the West Coast and 11 from New England together in an effort to broaden the kiln's reach. After a very successful dinner, he and Gustin knew they needed to do this on a bigger scale. Rainville said the public are always welcome to come. All they have to do is contact Gustin through his studio website, gustinceramics.com. Though typically there are leading every unloading, Gustin wasn't able to join the group until later due to his plane getting delayed. Our next article reads, Holiday Happenings in Town. Friday, November 29th, post-Thanksgiving hike. Join the Dartmouth Nature Reserve Trust to burn off holiday calories on a post-Thanksgiving walk. The hike begins at 9 a.m. and goes through the Smith Farm Reserve on Smith Neck Road. Saturday, November 30th, Toy Drive. The Dartmouth Youth Activities Association and the Dartmouth AAU are teaming up for their annual Toy Drive. Only new unwrapped toys should be donated. The drive will be held from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Crapo Field at 580 Russell's Mills Road. Wreath Sale. Dartmouth Scout Troop 13G will be selling wreaths at Akin House at 762 Dartmouth Street from 9 a.m. until the last wreath is sold. Wreaths cost $20. Saturday, December 1st, Craft Fair. Start holiday shopping early by visiting over 100 artisans, joining a raffle, and buying from a concession stand during the 3 Gen Love Craft Fair at Dartmouth High School at 555 Bakerville Road. The fair begins at 10 a.m. and ends at 3 p.m. Santa, the Grinch, and Elsa and Anna will be there from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. There will also be face painting and glitter tattoos. Tuesday, December 3rd. Ukulele Christmas Tunes. Attend a Christmas ukulele concert at the Dartmouth Grange at 7:30 p.m. The Unlikely Strummers will play Christmas favorites and there will be refreshments. The event will take place at 1133 Fisher Road. Donations will also be accepted for the Westport Food Pantry. Friday, December 6th. Holiday Stroll. Padanaram's Holiday Stroll and Bowie Tree Lighting are back. Attendees will have the chance to meet Santa, see live entertainment, and listen to carolers. The event starts at 4 and ends at 8 p.m., with the Bowie Tree Lighting ceremony starting at 6:30 p.m. Our next article reads, Annual Trash Collection and Trash Bag Rates to Increase, written by Abby Van Cilius. Dartmouth's annual trash collection and trash bag rates will be gradually increasing starting in fiscal year 2026, but by how much is still unknown. At the Board of Public Works meeting on Thursday, November 21st, representatives from the planning firms Weston and Sampson and the Abraham Groups presented the preliminary findings from Phase 2 of the Dartmouth Public Works Efficiency Study. Phase 2 looked at the sanitation division. The division is looking at a 10-year window to maintain capital costs and maintain earnings of at least 15%, said Weston and Sampson Representative Ben Rowland. The study also looked for ways to keep the town's trash rates low compared to similar communities, he added. The town of Dartmouth maintains a capital plan for projects related to solid waste and has multiple projects planned for the future that would cost just under $2 million, with said Matthew Abrams, a representative from the Abrahams Group. Abrahams presented 4 options to meet the goals outlined in the efficiency study and also fund the capital projects without having to borrow money. The options considered are the annual trash fee, the fees of small and large trash bags, and transfer station charges. The prices in all 4 options run under the assumption that an individual household is using 1 trash bag per week. While the 4 options include transfer station charges, they don't include specific values because the fees people pay when they bring trash to the stations can vary, Abraham said. Each option also assumes full capital funding for the capital terms. In one option, the annual trash fee, currently $90, would increase incrementally and cost $200 by 2030. The annual costs of small and large trash bags would not increase, so residents would see a total of $110. Option 2 would increase the annual trash and trash bag fees in the fiscal year 2026. The trash fee would increase from $110. The fee for small bags would increase from $52 to $72.80. And the fee for large bags would increase from $104 to $145.60. Option 3 would increase both the trash and bag fees in a staggered fashion. Trash fees would change in the fiscal year 2027 to $100. The small and large bag fees would change in the fiscal year 2026 to $78 and $104 respectively, and again in 2030 to $156 and $208. The final option would also take a staggered approach to increase the fees. The trash fee would increase to 110 in the fiscal year 2026, then to 130 in 2030. The prices of small and large bags would increase in the fiscal year 2026 to $72.80 and 145.60 and remain at these prices. Director of Public Works Tim Barber will also come up with a few additional rate options for the board to consider. Holiday cheer arrives early at the Hillcrest Alpacas Farm. Written by Abby Van Salil. Reindeer aren't the only animals Santa and Mrs. Claus like. It turns out they fancy alpacas too. On Sunday, November 24th, the Clauses visited Hillcrest Alpacas for the farm's Christmas celebration. This was the 8th time Santa and Mrs. Claus stopped by to take photos with kids and hand out candy canes at the now annual Christmas celebration. The farm began inviting the Clauses when it wanted to put on more special events for the community, said Courtney Standish, who runs the farm with her family. In addition to taking a photo with Santa and Mrs. Claus, the kids could also go on a pony ride, play in a house, and take a train ride in a barrel, feed alpacas, and make crafts. For the first time, guests could also write letters to soldiers who are deployed overseas and wouldn't be home for the holidays, Standish said, whose brother is currently deployed. Eric Karen and his family have been to the farm the past 2 years for the Easter event and said that this was the first year they went for Christmas. It has been good. The crafts are great. They had fun with doing the crafts, feeding the alpacas, he said. When asked if she's had fun at the farm, Xenia Canton, 4, shouted yes and jumped in the air. And I sat in the bucket, she added, referring to the barrel ride. Melanie Toki saw the event online and decided to bring her family to visit Santa and the alpacas. They have been to the farm in the past, but this was the first time they went to visit Santa. We just like to get out and be a part of the community, she said. There were also several vendors selling holiday gifts and treats. Anna Da Silva makes handcrafted wreaths and has been selling them at the Christmas event for the past 2 years. It is fun to see all the families come in here and seeing the alpacas. You know, there's so much to do here, she said. Skybright 10 was at the event to sell earrings and hand-painted crafts. I just like selling earrings and meeting a bunch of people because they are always so kind, she said, adding that this wasn't the first time she sold earrings at the event. It is just really fun, she added. Katie Cook and her family have been attending the Christmas event ever since her son was 1. We just love it, Cook said. Everyone's so kind, and there's so much to do, Cook said. Cook said that her son, Tyler Cook, 3, remembered getting candy canes from Santa and Mrs. Claus. As Tyler got off the barrel ride, he said the ride was his favorite thing he'd done so far. Katie added, Mr. and Mrs. Claus are the best. Can't forget about them. Begin the Holiday Season. Written by Abby Van Salil. The holiday season is shoring up in the Padanaram as the village prepares for its now annual buoy tree lighting ceremony. On Friday, December 6th, during the village's annual holiday stroll, the buoy tree, made out of hand painted buoys painted by community members, will be lit up. The The buoy tradition will begin in 2020 and started as a way to uplift spirits and create a community centered event during the most difficult times of the pandemic, said Molly Armando, who came up with the idea. Individuals and businesses can buy buoys at local stores, paint, and decorate them. On November 30th, the buoy tree will be constructed out of the buoys from residents, and the buoys from businesses will be strung along the boardwalk heading down to the downtown dock. Each year, it has become bigger and more creative, with buoys that reflect a wide range of artistry. Armando said, "My favorite so far is one shaped like an ear of a corn." The ceremony will begin at 6:30 p.m. with a few speakers, and then a community member will light the tree. Armando said the person chosen to light the tree is usually someone who helped the community in some way. The buoy will be set up until early January, at which time 50 buoys will be chosen to be auctioned off. Each year, all of the proceeds from the auction go to a local organization. This year's recipient is sharing the Harvest Community Farm Program, which is a non-profit hunger relief farm that has donated more than 45,000 pounds of produce to the community since 2006. People and businesses can buy buoys to decorate from local shops until supplies last. Personal buoys cost $15 and business buoys cost $75. Using acrylic paint to decorate the buoys usually works best. Those who buy the buoys also have the option to not include their buoy in the auction and can opt out of it by placing a red sticker on the buoy's bottom, which can be picked up when the buoy is purchased. Buoys should be delivered to the Padanaram Maritime Center by November 30th. Getting into the Christmas spirit at Dartmouth High with Elf. Written by Abby Van Basilio. When Grace Hughes was in the 3rd grade, her performance at Dartmouth High School was for Elf, the musical Junior. Nearly a decade later, Hughes finds herself a senior about to perform as Emily Hobbs in the same play. Only this time, it is adapted from the actual Broadway show. "It is kind of full circle," she said, adding, "Everyone is all grown up, which is really sweet." Co-director Dennis Lawrence Jr. said, "It is the first time the show has ever been done anywhere in this area." He recalls running the junior version back in the day, but he said this one is a bit longer and with more content, so that has been a little challenging. Many of the cast members noted this, such as with their long lines. Sophomore Katherine Gifford, who plays Jovi, said she puts the sentence into pictures as a way to memorize them when she has larger paragraphs. The play, which is adapted from the 2003 movie, follows Buddy the Elf, who learns he really isn't, and sets off on a journey in search of his human father in New York City. There are approximately 35 middle and elementary schools and 22 high schoolers involved in the making of this musical, according to Lawrence. He said he's been impressed by the visual effects alone that these kids are working on, including a giant Rockefeller Christmas tree made from spiral lights and the rotating door that Buddy throws up in. I think that they're the premier high school theater company around, and I think it is a testament to the kids and what they do, Lawrence added. Senior Mason Langloyd, who plays Walter Hobbs, said he's been doing theater since 7th grade, and his favorite part has been the teamwork. All these people have my back. Senior Nadia Franco is the dance choreographer for the play, having done so for fall since her sophomore year. However, she said this year is different, as she's doing it all on her own now that her friend has graduated. Franco said it was challenging to do given that they used to split the choreography work in half, but she still managed to plan out the dances to be about 85% of the original work. It is kind of nice to do just it is kind of nice to just work with the kids and kind of make them enjoy something that I loved growing up because dancing has been a very big part of my life, she said. Sophomore Harissa Vieira, who plays Deb Walters, said her favorite part of theater is the dancing, with her favorite number in this show being one of a bunch of Santas. Nicholas Feria, 12, plays Michael Hobbs in the musical. Having done theater since the first grade, he said he just loved the people he can meet and the characters he will become. Feria said he encourages others to join theater as well. It is a really fun experience. Want to see Elf the Musical at the Dartmouth High School Auditorium? While initial tickets are sold out, the fire department has offered a detail that has granted an additional 50 seats per night. Showings are Friday, December 6th and Saturday, December 7th, starting at 7 p.m., with an additional 1 p.m. showing on Saturday. Tickets are $15 for general admission, but those interested are asked to call for a seat at 508-441-4620. Sorry, 4602. I've reached the end of our reading for today. If you know someone who could benefit from our service, or you're interested in either volunteering or donating to our nonprofit to keep us in the air, it is tax deductible. Please call 508-539-2030 or visit our website, audiblelocalledger.org. You can now listen to us on smart speakers like the Amazon Echo Dot and Google Home. Just say, Alexa or Google, play radio station Audible Local Ledger on TuneIn, and you'll have a clear, static, free connection to our readings. As always, thank you for listening, and for all your continued support. This is Kalen. Bye for now. Hello from Bishop Stang High School, located in beautiful Dartmouth, Massachusetts. My name is Kalen, and I will be reading today's Dartmouth Week as part of the Audible Local Ledger's High School Student Community Service Program. The Ledger continues to deliver information and entertainment to the print-impaired who live on the Cape, the islands, and the South Coast, many confronting disabilities such as low vision, blindness, or neurological disorders, as we have for over 25 years. Bishop Stang High School is proud to assist in connecting these listeners with the outside world. Now, on with today's reading of Dartmouth Week, dated November 28th, 2024. This is a continuation of Dartmouth Week, as my last recording. Our first article reads, New Bedford Symphony Orchestra presents Trio Chamber concert on December 1st. The South Coast Chamber Music Series presents Trio on Saturday, November 30th in Marion and Sunday, December 1st in South Dartmouth. The concert's musicians are Nicholas Brown, playing the clarinet, Jesse Holstein, playing the violin, Leo Nucci, playing the cello, and Janice Weber, playing the piano. Three powerful trios prove that less can be so much more. An announcement said, the New Bedford Dartmouth Symphony Orchestra, a professional orchestra, annually presents a concert series of classical and pops music with internationally acclaimed guest artists, as well as a chamber music series. The New Bedford Symphony Orchestra clarinetist Nicholas Brown lends his artistry to Aram Khachaturian's incisive trio of 1932. And Brahms' late sublime clarinet trio, OP 114, the announcement said, the 1987 piano trio by Ellen Taff Zulich, much praised for its charity, wit, and semblance to a bolt of lightning, reinforces her reputation as one of the finest composers of her generation, the announcement said. Concerts have a new start time this season. Saturday concerts in Marion begin at 3 p.m. at St. Gabriel's Episcopal Church, 124 Front Street. Sunday concerts in South Dartmouth begin at 3 p.m. at St. Peter's Episcopal Church, 351 Elm Street. Individual concert tickets are $25 and must be purchased in advance. Tickets are available at zeitterion.org or by calling the NBSO office at 508-999-6276, extension 222. For more information, visit nbsymphony.org. Our next article reads, Apotho Therapeutics opens its doors after delay. Written by Leila Basalil. Over the last few weeks, the Select Board has stood firm in opposition of any host community agreements with town cannabis businesses due to changes by the state that have affected the tax revenue received by municipalities. That was until its Monday, November 18th meeting, where members voted 3-2 in favor of the agreement with Apotho Therapeutics, which held its grand opening for the store on 747 State Road earlier that day. Prior to the vote, Gary Carreiro, interim co-town administrator, said, I think the ramifications of not signing this agreement could be much worse for the town finances. Apotho Therapeutics, which has another location in Plainville, sent an early application to Dartmouth back in early 2021 for its retail store and cultivation facility, located in the former Dartmouth Indoor Tennis Club. The owners are brothers Andrew and Matthew Medeiros. It feels pretty good to be open, Matthew said. It definitely takes a while to get things moving in this industry. The building has been ready for a while. The staff was hired almost 12 months ago, and all the software was already integrated. He explained while the original host agreement was approved, the renewed agreement with the state and select board changes was rejected by the Cannabis Control Commission due to the wording used. He said the commission has a model for how they prefer their agreements, and Apothos's needed adjustments. But, regardless of the issues the commission may have had with the agreement, Matthew said he and his brother have been in complete agreement with the select board. Since they first proposed the shop, the industry has changed a lot, Andrew said. Pricing across the board and industry really changed. Better for the consumer, cannabis is now cheaper than it used to be. The two said their goal has always been to be a one-stop shop for all their customers' cannabis needs, highlighting how sometimes consumers have to go to a number of stores to get everything. The Madero siblings grew up in Seekonk and played basketball across the South Shore, so gaining a shop so close by was a goal of Matthew and Andrew. For the grand opening, Apotho worked with Mirasol's Cafe, but that's not the only business they plan to work out with. Matthew said, highlighting their goal to be a part of the Dartmouth community. We've made a strong commitment to this town, and they made a strong commitment to us. We want to see that through, Matthew said. An obituary of Christopher John Wallace. Christopher John Wallace, 63, of Dartmouth, died at St. Luke's Hospital on November 23, 2024, after a massive heart attack. Christopher was raised in Marion and graduated from Old Rochester Regional High School. He studied from Old Rochester Regional High School. He studied architectural engineering at Wentworth Institute of Technology and went on to design buildings of all types and size in southern New England. Chris lived in Dartmouth with his fiancée, Sarah Ketchell, in an historic farmhouse, the former home of Noelle Howell, affectionately known as the Goat Lady. He was enthralled by the history of the property and took seriously his stewardship of it, the creative restoration of which was in many ways his life's work. His particular skills included building old-fashioned stone walls and creating Victorian-style decorative shingle work. He was the proud owner of the antique Farmall tractor, which he used to cultivate his large vegetable garden. Never able to turn away from an animal in need, Christopher had a special love for his dogs and cats, all whom were rescues. But most of all, Christopher loved people. He had an affinity for older people and a deep appreciation for their individual stories. He grew up in knowledge and spiritual wisdom from the range of people he encountered. Always front-facing, Christopher was filled with hope for the future and eager to bring to fruition his plans. He was one of a kind, with a quick wit and wry sense of humor, and a wealth of little-known historical facts. Known for his unique gift-giving, Chris delighted in finding one-of-a-kind items for people at antique stores and yard sales, and he was able to make the ultimate gift by donating his liver and kidneys to people in need of life-saving transplants and his heart for medical research so that others might benefit. A memorial service will be held on Saturday, November. Sorry. A memorial service will be held on Saturday, December 14th at 11:30 a.m. at the Friends Meeting House, 103 Marion Road, Mattapoisett, followed by a luncheon, and celebration of life at a local private residence. The address will be provided at the service, or people can contact Ann Wallace at ANNWALLACE409@gmail.com for info. In lieu of sending flowers, the family would love for people to make a donation in Chris's name to Lighthouse Animal Shelter, the wonderful rescue organization in New Bedford where Chris and Sarah adopted their dogs Tip and Leah. Arrangements are being handled by Saunders Dyer Funeral Home in Mattapoisett. For online guestbook, please visit www.saundersdwyer.com. Our next article reads, Tractor Pull Competition returning on December 1st. All are invited to the Pascamanset Beagle Club for the club's second slab tractor pull on Sunday, December 1st. Kids ages 12 and under should check in at 8:30 a.m. and will be challenged to pull the 725-pound tractor. Kids from ages 13 to 18 will then be challenged to pull a 110-pound tractor. To close out the event, people 18 and older will also attempt to pull an 1110-pound tractor. The tractor pull will be held at 258 Lucy Little Road and begins at 8:30 a.m. The event is free to attend. Our next article reads, From Our Members by Dartmouth Week. Dartmouth Week gives businesses and nonprofit organizations the opportunity to become online affiliate members of DartmouthWeekToday.com and post news and information directly to our homepage. The following items have been excerpted from recent posts to our site. Like a piggy bank. This holiday season, consider gifting your child or a child in your life something that will make a lasting impact. Gifts that promote financial literacy can provide lifelong value for a child, helping them establish the money management skills necessary for future financial independence. For 6 gift ideas that can help send a child down the path to financial success, go to bank5.com and click on Resources, then Blog. Online shoppers beware. From the experts at Axe Smart IT in Wareham. A large-scale fraud network has been uncovered, using over 4,700 fake shopping websites to steal credit card information from online shoppers. According to a report by security researchers, the operation involves highly convincing e-commerce websites that mimic well-known brands and retailers. Each fake shopping site is carefully crafted to appear legitimate, often copying trusted brands' designs, logos, and product offerings. The scam is widespread, with the fake sites often promoted through online ads, social media, and search results. These fraudulent websites lure users by offering discounted products, typically at lower than market prices, to encourage purchases. Once a victim enters their credit card information, it is immediately captured and sent to the fraudsters for further exploitation, including unauthorized charges or identity theft. Online shoppers are advised to be cautious of suspiciously low-priced items and ensure they buy from trusted and secure sites. Shoppers are recommended to visit official brand websites and avoid clicking on ads, links from social media posts, or promoted in a search. To learn more about affiliate membership on Dartmouth Week today, email sales@dartmouthweek.net. The next section of reading includes class fields. Real estate for rent. 1-bedroom apartment for rent, recently renovated, upstairs/downstairs apartment for rent in East Wareham, kitchen, living room, bedroom, full bath and private antique home. Close to 2 beaches, 2 golf courses, and 495, and the Bourne Bridge. Private parking, garden area, and use of front porch. Heat and water included. $1,700 per month, first month rent, and security deposit required. Please call 508-291-2125 for appointment to view. The next subheader reads Services. Don't fuss to call us. All interior and exterior work, additions, windows, doors, roofing and siding, masonry painting, licensed and insured since 1988. Fall Specials ask for Arthur. 508-326-8996. Licensed electrician for all your electrical needs, including emergency calls, also offering generator maintenance, repair, and installation. Call Paul Ceramento, 508-979-8347. Handyman and more. Cleanouts, dump runs, demolition, interior and exterior, dump truck service, pressure washing, and more. Insured. 774-762-0016. masstreeservice.com. Tree pruning and removal. Aerial bucket tree service. Insured. References. Free estimates. 508-972-1143. Legal advertisement. Town of Dartmouth Planning Board. Notice is hereby given under MGL Chapter 40A, Section 11, Zoning and Dartmouth Zoning Bylaw. 375, Article 24, Site Plan Review of a public hearing to be held at 7 p.m. on Monday, December 16, 2024, per the governor's emergency order allowing municipal boards to temporarily conduct their business through video conferencing platforms, this public hearing will be accessible for live interaction by petitioners and public using Join Meeting ID 863-3461-3698, passcode 028355, phone 1-646-876-9923. The hearing concerns an application for a special permit for a proposed 39129 square foot car dealership located at 411 Fonts Corner Road, Dartmouth, Massachusetts. Assessor's Map 63 Lot 12, brought forth by Anthony Capano on behalf of Soli Engineering. The proposed project is being reviewed under both special permit and site plan review applications. Per Article 24 of the Dartmouth zoning bylaw, motor vehicle sales require one parking space per 125 square feet of gross floor area. This would require 261 total spaces for the public. Therefore, the applicant's special permit is for a reduction in the required parking spaces. Soli Engineering prepared the application. Information regarding this project is on file in the Planning Board Office, Room 315, Town Hall, 400 Slocum Road in Dartmouth, Massachusetts, and may be seen during regular business hours upon request of an appointment with the Planning Department or via the online application portal https://www.town.dartmouth.ma.us. PSP 24/7 and PSPR 24/16. Kevin Mello, Chairperson, Dartmouth Planning Board. Dartmouth of Environmental Protection Waterways Regulation Program. Notice of license application pursuant to MGL Chapter 91 Waterways License Application Number 24-WW01-0186-APP. Darlene M. Sheenan, 2007, Revocable Trust, Stephen B. Cohen, and Darlene M. Sheehan, Trustees, Slocum's River, 21, Old Jetty Road, Dartmouth. Notification date, November 29, 2024. Public notice is hereby given of the waterways application by Darlene M. Sheehan, 2007, Revocable Trust, Stephen B. Cohen, and Darlene M. Sheehan, trustees, to construct and maintain a ramp, float, and float piles at 21 Old Jetty Road in the municipality of Dartmouth in and over the waters of the Slocum's River. The proposed project has been determined to be water dependent. The department will consider all written comments on this waterways application received within 30 days subsequent to the notification date. Failure of any aggrieved person or group of 10 citizens or more, with at least 5 of the 10 residents residing in the municipalities in which the license or permitted activity is located, to submit written comments to the Waterways Regulation Program by the public comments deadline will result in the waiver of any right to adjudicatory hearing in accordance with 310 CMR 9.134C. The products, plans, and documents for the waterways application are on file for public viewing electronically at https://eea.state.ma/eea/public-app/. Enter 21 Old Jetty Road in the search page as the location address. If you need assistance, please contact VIN MANFREDI at massgov.org. If you do not have access to the email, please leave a voicemail at 857-283-5901 and you will be contacted with information on alternate options. Written comments must be addressed to VIN MANFREDI, Environmental Analyst, DEP Waterways Regulation Program, 20 Riverside Drive, Lakeville, MA 02347. I've reached the end of our reading for today. If you know someone who could benefit from our service, or you're interested in either volunteering or donating to our nonprofit to keep us in the air, it is tax deductible, please call 508-539-2030 or visit our website, audiblelocalledger.org. You can now listen to us on smart speakers like the Amazon Echo Dot and Google Home. Just say, Alexa or Google, play radio station Audible Local Ledger on TuneIn, and you'll have a clear, static, free connection to our readings. As always, thank you for listening, and for all of your continued support. This is Kalen. Bye for now.